Taking a little break from canned tomatoes and just wanted to share a couple things with you that is on my mind at the moment. Last night at sunset was the beginning of a very important Jewish holiday called Rosh Hashanah. And as far as I know, it is the only holiday of its kind anywhere in the Christian, Judeo-Christian, or otherwise world. At its core, we are celebrating the creation of the world and the creation of Adam and Eve and the 6 days that God made this world and the seventh day that he rested on, which was the first Sabbath, the first Shabbat. Can you believe it? All those 6,000 years ago. Yep. I'm a crazy Jew that honestly believes that God came down from heaven and created this world. And sick of ways, people ask me, you believe God created the world in 7 days? No, I don't. I believe he created it in 6 days. The seventh day was Shabbat. And we celebrate this new year in remembering the creation of Adam and Eve and the world. And we use it as a time of self-reflection. You'll find out if you study anything about our ancient culture that we are very good at self-reflection. It's passed down from mother to son and daughter. And the mother makes sure that us Hebrew children are very aware of our mistakes and our shortcomings, and that we spend a significant amount of time going like this and worried about them. Okay? It's part of our culture. All cultures are different. None of them are equal or greater than or lesser than. They're just all different. Your culture is great. My culture is great. I'm a mixture. My wife is a red-haired Irish girl, crazy Irish girl. I love her to death. Been married 31 years, and I still had to, remind her about the holidays and stuff that I don't want to say I observe them, but I will have some pomegranates today. I will have some apples and honey. I will consider the way that I've treated others this year. I will consider how I dealt in business fairly, unfairly. I will think about how I treated other people when they have treated me indifferent, bad, good, however, it doesn't matter. It's not a time for me to reflect on others. It's a time for me to reflect on myself. Society is going to continue to tell you, it seems like, that you have some voice inside of you and you're so special, and what's right for someone else is wrong for another, and wrong for this one is right for... No, my friends, life is black and white. Charlie Kirk was murdered by an insane, furry humping, homosexual leftist that I'm sure loved his father, but was struggling with something that came from his seemingly decent Christian home. I mean, I'm not gonna. I said too much about his home, because in the end, once you reach, we believe as Jews, 12 years old, you can forget about blaming your parents. You knew it was wrong to steal that candy. You knew it was wrong to push that little girl down. You knew it was wrong to cut in the line in the cafeteria. You knew these things, but you did it anyway. You're not doing right. Maybe you should reflect on that in Rosh Hashanah. The world is black and white. The world is part good, part evil. There is a struggle on for you right now. The adversary is here. He's roaming about like a roaring lion, seeking who he may deceive. Why is he a roaring lion? People don't think about this. Oh, roaring lion, the devil's going to come get me. Not necessarily. As a matter of fact, it even makes you ponder the fact that your adversary is not the one that comes and gets you. What does the lion do on the vast veldt? He goes and he struts up all of his lion prowess, his mane flowing in the African breeze, his giant canines lolling from his tremendous mouth. And he looks one way, he looks the other, and everything in his encompassing gaze is beneath him. He points his mighty head toward the sky and gives off his barbaric yelp. And while you're looking at him, the lionesses kill you. You see that the distraction is the murder of beloved Charlie Kirk. That's the roar. That's the lion roaring. Look how many people heard the lion and said, I will not fear you. I am watching out for the lionesses, and I put my faith in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that will never be defeated in any way by anyone. Let the world be a liar and God be the truth teller. The world, my friends, is black and white. We know each and every, the transgendered human being that struggles so terribly with this horrific mental disease, body dysmorphic dysphoria, and now at this point in history has no help, has people saying, yeah, let's cut off your genitals. Let's make it so you could never have an orgasm. Let's destroy your sexual ability to procreate and have pleasure with someone that you love of the opposite sex. Let's destroy that. Let's make this person's life a living hell until they inevitably do what over 50%, I think it's 53% of the poor suckers do. My heart goes out to those people because they have no help. They have monsters that are on the black side, not the white side. They have these monsters that say, oh, let us help you. Take Lupron. We used to call it chemical castration. In fact, we still do. Though the world says one thing and God says another, let the world be a liar and God be the truth teller. Use your mind, that wonderful thing that God gave you. It tells you. We call it the Holy Spirit. He comes inside of you and he whispers wisdom into you. How? Because he's there talking? No, because he's giving you opportunities to see evil, to see good, to see righteousness, to see debauchery. Grasp righteousness with your right hand. Or grasp a rope of sand with your left and call it good. Anyone that believes that one culture can do a thing that's evil and it's okay, and another culture can do a thing that's evil and it's not okay, there's something going on up here, folks. It's being pushed, and I'm about ready to wrap this up. It's being pushed a kind of collective guilt. I, for one, never bought into it. Look, it was probably easier for me because I have Hebrew blood, and we've been oppressed and kicked out of countries, and it is what it is. Read Exodus. But we've also had the hand of God, and any of us that were willing could be rescued, could be upheld by his righteous right hand, where nothing can touch you. You might feel things. Influences may come in, and like Job, you may develop boils, but nothing can touch you. You stay secure in the all-encompassing arms of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. My cousins, by the way. Oh, I'm going to leave you with this. I have one more thought, and it's the toughest one to get out. When Mrs. Kirk got up, and I like the Don, he's all right. He's a ball-busting blusterer, but this time I got to say he should not have spoken last. It was disrespectful. I understand he's the president, but Mr. President, your husband didn't just get killed in front of the world in the most gruesome and horrific way. Imagine, I've not watched a video that won't. I've heard enough about it. I've saw faces of death. I know what death looks like, and it's ugly. It's something that was never meant for the human race. And I digress, but that's what I do. That's why you love me. So when Mrs. Kirk got up there and she gave an unbelievable speech, and she's so intelligent, you could see her. If you watch that speech, watch her eyes. This is a lady that either has been taught. I did a lot of public speaking. There's things that you learn from other people. There's things you learn on your own. There's things you learn from reading and being taught about homiletics, which is just talking in front of people. And she's learned some of these things one way or the other. And what got me the most was her eyes. Now, there was a lot of time where she was like this, and you couldn't see her eyes. But when you could, you'd see her look over here. Not look like this. Look over here. Look over there. No, the head movements weren't huge. The eye movements were bigger. But the head movements would always go toward the eyes. And I noticed there were 7, maybe 10 different places that she was going to. When you do that, it's very powerful. You focus like here when you're looking at somebody that's more than 15, 20 feet away from you. And it gives the effect of looking in their eyes. In fact, it can affect the people around them from 50 feet. If you're in a stadium like this, you make that movements like she was, and it makes many people in them stands feel like you look right at them. It's a way to make a crowd of people come close to you. Cerca de los corazones, close to your heart. When that lady, when she said that young man, I was like, she's gonna forgive this guy. I knew what she was gonna do, but I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that in this day and age, there was one woman that was so Christ-like that while her husband's body was almost still warm, she forgave the vile, odious, sexually confused, maladdicted monster. Someone that I wonder, oh, it wouldn't matter how you harmed my wife. I would want to end you. And if you ended my wife, I am that guy. I'm the guy that comes to the courtroom every day. You just think he's a grieving husband. And then one of those days, I blow your brains out in the courtroom and then calmly turn around and put my hands behind my back because I've been to jail. It's not a big deal. You get caught, they feed you 3 times a day. And I'm just going to be honest. If you're a guy like me, you don't have to worry about the shower room problems because you don't have to worry about those things. She forgave this guy. And as powerful as that was, when she looked up to heaven twice, I know why too. She looked up once to Charlie, and I'd give you my thoughts on that, but this is not the appropriate time. And then she looked up to God, and she, in her heart, prayed for strength from both of those sources. And she forgave this human being. As profound as that was, as moving as it was for me, what really got me was they pointed the camera out at the crowd. My friends, the forgiveness of God is so powerful. When you see the faces of those humans, the light dawning, that it was their cue to forgive this animal, that it was it. It was one of the greatest things I've seen in my life. And it was definitely the greatest thing that I've seen in the last 10 years by far. The forgiving power of the Almighty God. Now, friends, if you see this, great. If you don't, well, I tried. Got on my little soapbox. Happy Rosh Hashanah. And if you forget everything I said in this video, everything I've ever said, you remember this. Be good to your friends. Be good to your family members. Be good to your loved ones. Be quick to say you're sorry. Be even quicker to accept an apology, especially when that thing your friend, family member, loved one has done seems to be so huge you'll never be able to forget about it. Because constant viewers, my beloved friends, at a time you think not, your friends, your family members, your loved ones, your life, and the blessed new year will depart from you. Happy Rosh Hashanah.